what is mind? Mind is very elusive because you cannot see it. We can only infer its existence. So even Ayurveda has asked this question: is there really a mind? And it's very difficult to study the mind because the mind is like an interface between the body and the self. So you cannot study it without referring to the body or to the self. So it's not that it is not existent, but you cannot separate the mind. You cannot take the mind out of a person, put it under the microscope and see what's going on. Like you take a cell, because in the cell also you see the shadow of the mind. Whatever you take from the body, you see the shadow of the mind because it is part of the same continuum. You cannot separate it. So if you pull any part of your body, the mind also comes along. And so most of the time when you study the mind, you are actually studying the body. And that is why in modern science they say the mind is only an epiphenomenon of the body. But that's not true. It's because it's one continuum that you mistake it to be a product of your mind, but it is not. And on the other side, if you focus more on your mind, then you can see what is beyond the mind, it's consciousness. And once the mind hooks to the consciousness, then you have another experience. And in the Indian tradition, in the Ayurvedic tradition, this is the big difference in strategy. Today we try to study the mind through the body. So all techniques, you fit an electroencephalogram, see what's happening in your brain, or you do all these kind of other physiological parameters, tests to see what's going on inside the mind. But in the ancient system, they made a very critical decision. They said that through the body we can see only the shadow of the mind. If you want to capture the mind, hook the mind to yourself. And then only you can study the mind. And that is why instead of psychology, it became the study of consciousness. Study of consciousness means the study of the mind hooked to your consciousness. And what is there in Ayurveda about the mind is all about the insights gained through this approach. Not by looking at the mind from the body, but by looking at the mind through the perspective of your own consciousness.